stuff. But like, what do you want me to do? Like, if I'm still choosing to get married and people are allowed to go to the reception but not dance, like, I'm confused. What are you supposed to do? Dance? Like,
Hi, I'm Justine Thomas.
Hi, I'm Brandy. I feel like we have to shout.
I know. It's like, can you hear me?
But
I can't.
if you can't, you really, I know. This is
Janice.
welcome to Pass the Glass.
I know, right? And you're allowed to take the mask off for 2 seconds.
I'm not making fun of it. We're obviously wearing it to be responsible.
Oh, I've got to turn this volume down again.
We are trying to be responsible, but
we are.
Yeah.
We're only 3 foot instead of 6 foot.
Right. Yeah, we're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay.
We're good.
So, Justine, I'm Brandy, and I have a special Hello Kitty mask on today.
You do. It's cute.
That I got for
your birthday.
My birthday a couple weeks ago. I thought that was adorable. The only thing I'll say is a white mask does not bode well for a woman.
No, because of makeup issues.
Because I wear more makeup than Sephora carries.
No, you do not.
Yes, I sure do. And it's funny, I took a picture of myself without makeup on the other day, like fresh out of bed. And I thought, if anybody found this, and I know it's vain and stupid. It's not like I'm a supermodel with everything I have going on my face, but oh my God, how did I get so heinous?
Do you realize that everything that you take on your phone goes up to a cloud? So even when you delete it, it's not deleted.
I know. That's why I don't take any naked pictures.
That's
something we are gonna talk about.
Yes, because I'm gonna tell you what, people think, oh, I'm being cute and I'm sending this text message to so and so and like there's no clothing on or this or that. You don't realize that those pictures that you're taking and you're sending and you're posting on your Facebook page or you're sending to somebody in a text message, those never go away. No matter what you put out there on the internet. No, it never, ever goes away. But people don't realize
my favorite thing, and this is really the only reason that I don't delete my Facebook. Because really, this is terrible.
This is terrible. How do you're supposed to do these in your houses in Pennsylvania, you know that?
I think, I promised
next is in the shower. Yeah.
I promised after the last election I would never make fun of PA again, so I have to keep my word. But
yeah, you do.
I know. No, but I think that
look at me going.
My favorite. I know. Well, we're trying to be responsible, but we're like, how do you win in this situation?
It's not.
My favorite. The reason I don't get rid of my Facebook is because A, how can I stalk you without you knowing? B, I mean, let's be real, but B, when someone gets into a fight or they give too much information, I thoroughly enjoy another train wreck other than my own life, and my favorite is when they don't have a grasp of grammar and punctuation, and it's all one big sentence and misspelled. And I'm like, you look brilliant. You look brilliant.
My favorite with that is when they're going after somebody for being an idiot, and then they're using completely botched grammar. That's the favorite one. You know, when we're looking at social media.
Why is Facebook a diary? Why? What are you doing?
Brushing your teeth. Hi, I'm brushing my teeth in the morning.
No, I mean a diary like, oh my God, this guy did this, he cheated on me, he slept with her. Oh my God. All right, Maury. I love Maury.
You know what I hate more though? People that wear the mask like this.
Oh, well then.
No, but you can't breathe like that.
You know, it's funny, we were talking about masks the other day, and this is gross, I don't want to show you the inside of his lipstick on it. But mine has a filter or a thing you put in and out, and I thought maybe it does work.
It's like a push-up bra.
I don't know anything about
it came with disposable filters that sit on the top of the cat box, you know? I was like, okay, well that's okay then. So
I can't. I can't.
We can't. None of us can.
Do you see people driving down the road with these on?
I do it only because I forgot I had it on. I forgot. And I made fun of people for that until one day I was driving and I'm like, oh my God, my mask is on. I'm a big loser too. I forgot. It wasn't on purpose.
How could you not remember? This is the most uncomfortable thing in the whole wide world.
Well, because
I can't even breathe with this thing.
I Uber. When I deliver food, you know, when I deliver food,
you're an Uber girl.
I do Uber Eats. You have to have your mask on, you know, and I will walk up to someone's house with it on and put their food on the porch and get back in my car and be driving, and like.
Have you seen Joe's posts on Uber?
Huh, who?
Things he's done.
Oh,
Joe.
No. Oh, I might have. Why?
How would you like
Not Uber Eats, just
Oh
Uber.
Yeah, no, I just do food. I don't want anyone in my car.
How would you like to call Uber and somebody pulls up in a Tesla? Hello, Back to the Future. I would love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he pulls up in his
supposedly Teslas with the ability to pretty much drive on their own.
Yeah.
They're going to actually offer your car to go out and pick people up while you're at work. So your Tesla is actually going to go around. People are going to jump in, get a ride, and your car is going to be able to make money for you in the system.
The last thing I trust is a self-driving
Seriously?
car. No
I
way.
don't know.
Oh,
no.
it's coming.
It's coming.
They're already out.
It's coming.
And they remember that horrible video where the girl wasn't even paying attention and she was just in the self-driving car supposedly monitoring it, and she ran over a bicyclist and killed her. What is the point of that? I can't even drive my car correctly when I'm driving.
Yeah, but look at the hair color.
Hot
I'm the same.
or kettle.
I'm the same.
Extension.
I'm the
queen.
fire.
All right.
I'm the fire.
Voice of reason, make us get along.
I don't know. There's certain things I can't do. I don't think that I'm one of them.
So we're talking about masks. Something else we're talking about.
Going back to the whole mask thing, obviously you work or do Uber Eats and you deliver. How has that affected your tips, being that you can't walk and hand people?
Actually, I will say, some people tape the tip to the door, which is adorable. Most people just tip you on the card, on the app. Most people don't give you cash anyway. Now, some people still prefer that you meet them at the door and knock on the door, which is fine. I don't care. But Uber will not allow you to drive until you have photographed yourself with your mask on.
Wow.
To turn the app on. Yeah, but then when I don't have any bings coming through, I just take the mask off. You know what I mean? You can take it off. They don't know if you keep it on the whole time.
Until now.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure that the heads are aware of that. They're doing what they can to be responsible as well, yeah. But, and they ask you, have you sanitized your car? Have you washed your hands? You know, you have to check a bunch of boxes before they'll let you sign online. But, I mean, like I said, you can say yes even if you haven't. I mean, but regardless, you know. I mean, they're doing what they're just like, but here in this area, I mean, yeah, I'll make some money doing Uber, but it's more like in the like New York City and like those places where people can literally make an entire living off just doing that, you know, because there's so much business. So there's that.
I don't think I can make a business out of that.
You know, I personally don't think I could do it here. But I will say that, you know, in bigger cities, you can, you know, like, it's easy to make $100 a day here doing it for just a few hours on a Saturday.
I mean, it's still
that's pretty good. When you don't really need the money, you just need to side hustle or, you know, gas money, whatever. But
okay. Let's do the math.
Yeah.
Okay. $100 a day.
Let's put into a car payment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Brakes,
mm-hmm.
oil changes, air filters, fluid changes,
maintenance,
tire
just
changes,
basic maintenance, yeah.
Let alone a car breaks down. Let alone going to paying a shop fee if something's not covered under a warranty. Your repairs supersede the amount of money that you're making.
No,
not
way.
really, because I mean, if $100 a day is an accurate number,
it could be more or less, but I mean,
if your average is that your average about?
I would say if I do it for 4 hours in the evening for dinner, absolutely $100.
Because if you do it every day,
yeah,
times $100, that's $3,000 a month.
Yeah,
is that any different than a regular day job in some circles? Which you would still, yes, you're putting.
You're not driving around town.
But if you're making $24,000 a year at one job and you're doing now $36,000 a year, it offsets to almost being equivalent to a regular day job would be you're just killing your car faster.
Right. And I mean, at my job, I drive.
In my opinion, it's
I drive an insane amount of miles anyway for my regular day job. So I mean, whatever. Like, I'm gonna be replacing that crap anyway soon. I hope not. Actually, my car's new, but going down that path. So, but you know, and another thing is when it gets cold out, people don't want to go out.
Yep. They're more likely.
Correct. Now, the problem with me, I look, like I said before, the biggest dork when I deliver and it's dark because I have binoculars and like a police flashlight because I can't see your house number. And people don't have house numbers half the time anyway. And so you're driving up and down a dark road and you're like, I have no idea.
You need to get one of those police spotlights on the side of your car.
I do need one. I'm like,
then certain areas you
It's-
actually see people running out of their house.
That's my fear, is that if I have the police flashlight, people are going to be like, what are you doing? You know, certain areas are certain areas, and I'll deliver to any area. I don't care. I have no shame. Money's money.
I think we know this.
Yeah,
I
I
think
We know
thus
this.
far.
Nothing's off limits with you.
How do you think, so how are you feeling about this curfew? We were talking about, like, just some of the new orders. There's a 10 p.m. curfew now, but I noticed, like, I stopped at a Walgreens that was 24 hours. It was still 24 hours. And, I mean, I didn't read the whole order, so I'm not trying to, like, say I know. But I noticed that the Walgreens was 24 hours still. And, I mean, there's people on the road, but aren't you home by 10 anyway normally?
We old people.
I mean, I am. I'm not during Dateline. Like, you know?
Well, I think the best thing that came out of the whole curfew is the amount of memes that are out there
Yes.
right now with DeWine in some capacity. I'm sure. Did you see the Cardi B one?
No.
No.
Well, they used the whole hose in this house, and then Mike DeWine's below saying how many. It was great.
How many? That's awesome.
That is great. And so there's been a plethora of those ones. It's phenomenal out there, the amount
Yeah,
of humor. But at least people are staying humorous.
Thank
and
God for memes. Yeah, I have to pull this down for a minute. I'm sorry. I can't breathe. Thank God for memes, though, in this time.
Yeah.
Very funny.
You gotta be able to laugh.
Yeah.
And some people take them too seriously. Some people take things way too seriously anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they find this time to take things that serious?
Mhm.
That's my bigger question. I don't have time to think about all this stuff, like just in everything that I'm doing, let alone
Mm-hmm.
to care that much about everybody else's business when I'm worried about my own business in that sense. I mean, I've got
Right.
too much stuff going on as it is to worry about. Other
Everyone
people.
has a life that they have to lead outside of,
But there are lots of people that don't.
I know.
How?
I don't have
You
much
still
of a
gotta go to
life.
work.
I don't have much
You
of a
still
life,
gotta
but I
go-
don't have time to care that much about stuff. What about you?
I'm just trying to survive.
Mhm,
I'm just
mhm.
trying to get through
That's
this.
sort of.
I'm just trying every day you wake up and it's like you're doing the same routine day in and day out and you're trying to make a buck and you're trying to pay your bills. I mean, a lot of people have lost their jobs.
Mhm.
A lot of people have had to reinvent themselves. And the holidays are coming and holidays are tough enough. I can't do this. Holidays are tough enough with people with depression and people with anxiety. And, you know, granted, DeWine's probably doing some of us a favor for those of us that have a hard time being around relatives because of the anxiety that family helps to bring on to some people. But I think right now, you know, families need to pull together a little bit. Now, granted, you're not allowed to have, 6 people at your house or something?
I don't even know what the number
So
is. I thought it was 10.
did the
but-
turkey police come knocking on the door?
Don't know.
And they say there's 7 people here. Somebody got to go. Like, I'm confused how they're going
I
to
don't think they're
regulate
going
that.
to. I
you
think
know?
it's a let's say it in hopes that people just follow it, but there's no way how are they gonna enforce that? They can't. In most divisions don't have enough people to handle the crime that's in the city, let alone now going door to door and checking, make sure grandma and grandpa aren't the extra added to the party. I'm sorry, there's just not enough resources.
I think we all kind of know that, though. I think we all kind of know that, like, it's probably not going to be as enforced as possible. And, I mean, everyone's responsible for their own house. You're just going to have to regulate what happens in your house.
It wasn't. How did I do that? It wasn't this bad last year. We went through this last year. And we did not have as strict as things as what they're doing. Granted, he's trying to slow things down, and this isn't up for debate. It's not up for political.
Right.
Don't care, don't want to know. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't go through all this that we did last year.
You mean
We had a little
like
bit more
in
freedom.
March?
We had a little bit more freedom than what we're going through now.
Like I said, I think that the 10 p.m. curfew, I think most stuff's closed by 10 anyways, with the exception of a few things. It doesn't really affect me. I'll be home by 10 regardless. But I think that it's just a way of trying to regulate things without shutting things down and
that's the
hurting
only thing
businesses.
I think is
Yeah.
the saving grace in this. If he goes full shutdown, not only is he going to have a lot of hell to pay on the other side, but it's going to keep people from going out of business because they're already on the brink with everything
Right.
that's been going
Right.
on. You
Right.
throw another shutdown on them, mom and pop shops ain't going to be mom and pop shops. It's going to be all corporate deals because those are the only ones that can weather another storm like this.
Right.
And I think that's part of it. It's hard, and there's always going to be some good. I mean, if there were ever a time to be shut down, or if there ever a time to go through this, this would be it. Because all the apps that you can get delivered, you pretty much can live at home and not have to move your house.
Not have to get dressed. Not have to.
If you really have that choice, you have that choice. Like, there's no excuse. If you fear what's out there, you can stay home. That's
and you
choice.
don't just have to get pizza anymore.
You could get your groceries delivered. You could get just anything delivered to you. Why would you want to step out if you're concerned for your overall health?
Well, if your job's not working remotely,
that's
you
true.
have a problem.
Good point.
You have a problem. And if you're coming in contact with people in person rather than just doing something over the phone or doing something over the computer, then you've got another problem. Are these people, have their hands been sanitized? Have they sneezed in your face? Have they, the water droplets that they say goes through the air? But now, I mean, just looking at somebody, probably you're going to be able to catch COVID. I mean, they don't even know anymore how people are, they can guess, they can speculate. And something's being said for the state of Ohio. Why is this now circling back so bad now? I mean, like I said, we went through this the first time and it wasn't half as harsh as what it is right now. And granted, I realize, don't throw stones at me. Don't bore evil eyes at me.
We're not.
But why is it so harsh now as what it was?
I think there's more deaths now than before, maybe. And I don't know. I'm not speaking from knowledge or reading anything that is true. I understand exactly what you're saying. I feel like maybe because the numbers, didn't they go like, oh my God? And then people were like, oh, we got to be careful. So they went down. And then people were like, okay, we're doing okay. And then they kind of went up. And then summer. And then, parties. And then, I don't know. But
well, the outside versus inside is the reason that it's different. Where March, when it was somewhat nice, you could go outside and be able. Well, obviously, there's a shutdown, so it didn't actually open up until what was that? March, May. Which is starting to get nice.
You're right.
So you go outside is going outside, and everybody knows this isn't a transmitted outside type of deal. It's mostly transmitted inside. Right. So now that it gets cold, everybody flushes back in. I mean, you could pretty much predict what was going to happen when everybody started going back inside in their houses where there isn't great ventilation. There isn't, all those things that open a window and let fresh air come in. It's no longer fresh air. It's everything's inside.
Right.
So I think that's the reason that it's happening and happening in the extent that it is currently. Yeah. It's a hard topic for anybody, and I'm sure everybody's sick of hearing about COVID back and forth.
I'm sick of talking about
it.
I'm sick of these things.
We
can't do a show with keeping this thing on.
The problem I have with it
is hard.
Is what everybody is sacrificing to try to keep other people healthy is the same thing when you get depression and people losing work and not being able to pay their bills. How much is on that side that we're not seeing? Granted, we've got a ton of deaths in the grand scheme of things, but what numbers aren't we seeing that even though they're healthy, they're not working, they're depressed, they're committing suicide? What numbers are those that aren't COVID deaths, but because of COVID happening, how many people are suffering?
How many people are losing their homes? How many people are losing their cars? How many repossessions, foreclosures? And I realize foreclosures take a long time to happen, don't get me wrong, but you get behind one and then, one bill and then it's just keeps going and going, and it's not your fault you lost your job. It's not your fault that businesses were closed down.
And
it's not
a lot of people
fault.
are blessed, and obviously most, what it sounds like at this table, are blessed that we're not really seeing that other side, but I can only imagine not being able to.
No, yeah, but who's to say? Who's to say?
Yep.
Really, all of us are one step away. I think everybody's one step away from it. You know what I mean? Because for anyone who's ever even gone through a job loss,
it's depressing.
I mean, it's horrible. And especially the older you get, and because the more crap you have, the more family you have, the more people you're taking care of, And it's like, oh my God, I'm not 22 where it's just me in my crappy apartment and my car payment. You know what I mean?
You get other people dependent on
you. When you get older and you have other people who actually depend on you, whether it be parents or children or whatever, you know, and then you lose your job. Yep. And now, okay, yeah, they were letting people not pay their utilities, but they weren't going to shut you off if you were behind. That's over.
Yep.
And, you know, like what happened to the people, they said like 8 million people went into poverty like last month. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people. And then that's where the depression goes, you know, because how happy are you once you've lost your income?
And here's the other thing. I have never seen so many repossession trucks driving up and down the streets lately looking for cars because people have gotten behind on their bills and gotten behind on, you know, payments. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And kind of going back to one of the original things we talked about, which is the Uber side. So like I said, if there were ever a time for this to happen, it would be in this day and age where you can do Instacart, where you can be a driver for Uber, where you can get those quick income things going with very little to no experience. You know, in a sense, if it were going to happen any other time, you would have been hosed. Like you would have had no options to go out there and make an income, be your own boss, if you will, as easy as it is in this day and age. So again, there's lots of bad, but there's also some good that came out of it, where if it were any other time, we'd be in the 20% unemployment or 30% unemployment, where those little supplemental jobs are actually a full-time job for a lot of people that don't have anything else.
And what about these people that are on the front lines? What about these doctors, nurses that go through this every single day that see these cases coming in?
Yep. God bless them. No way could I do it. No way.
Every day I think to myself, oh my God, you know, because you see Facebook and you see some of your friends that are nurses and doctors and some of your friends that are actually in the hospital fighting this right now. So, you know, and I realize there's measures that we all need to take. We all need to bunker down and start following procedures even more. But, you know, does this also have to run its course? Does it have to just filter its way through?
And the other question that kind of comes to mind with this, with us slowing it down, did we slow it down where at this point, if we would have just let it happen, and granted there would have been tragedy, so it's not a good decision either, did us saving lives cost us more or less a future with this could have already been done and dealt with if we would have let it run its course? And as sad and somewhat sick as that is, because you never want to see people perish, that's that other dilemma or a dynamic that you kind of think back and go, it's possible that if we would have let it run its course, it would have been more tragic, but we would have already been on the other side of this. Which is worse, the shorter and people die in that short period of time, or was it longer and almost the same amount or more because it's just gone on for so long?
But are we ever going to be on the opposite side of this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is kind of like they're putting this in the same category as like the flu. It's something that you're going to be able to get year after year after year.
Yeah, and that's okay because the flu, you know, when I hate to say when it first started because God only knows, but the flu still kills people.
Yep.
But not the way this did because people have no immunity to this. People have immunity to the flu. It still can kill you, obviously, no matter what age you are. But this, no one had immunity to. Just a new virus. So yeah, it's like a new flu that really F's you up. And people had no immunity to it, and you saw what happened. Now, I'm not talking about vaccine or not or whatever. I'm saying if you have antibodies or you've already had it, I'm not saying you can't re-get it, but I'm just saying if you've had it, you know, it'll probably, I would hope, get to the point where it is just like a flu. You get your flu shot, you get your COVID shot, or whatever. You know what I mean? I get a flu shot, but many people I know refuse to, and I don't blame them. It's okay. It's your body. You know what I mean? Just as long as you're vaccinated for like polio, I'm good. You know what I mean? But I just don't understand, you know, like why people get upset at others who won't get a flu shot. You don't have to get it. If enough people have immunity, you might get it. That's your problem. But you might get it even if you have the shot. So who knows what's going to happen? I do it for myself because it tends to work for me.
I think that example is sort of the fight that's going on now because obviously in this country, it's based on choice.
Right.
And if I'm willing, as long as I'm not putting other people at risk, am I okay to go out there and not wear a mask? Am I okay to choose to try to get this? Like, that choice, that what this country is pretty much about, is that what we should be following, or should we be letting governments and whatnot dictate what we do?
I don't think the government should dictate shit, first of all. Second of all, I have no idea what to do about it anymore. I just try to do. Listen, if they walk this way, I mean, we're all inundated, right? No matter what party you are, no matter what you believe, we're all inundated with information on what to do. So you just kind of do what you think you should do, right? We're wearing our masks because we I guess we should. Are they effective? I mean, so we hear, we hope, right?
But not if you keep wearing it week after week,
right.
Day after day, and don't wash the thing.
But do you know what's funny? Before the masks were like mandatory, like, you know, people were wearing them, but it wasn't like signs on the doors. My God, if you went into a grocery store and sneezed, people would scatter from you like roaches. You know what I mean? And it was like, no, I just sneezed. I'm good. Like, but everyone's so much more hyper-vigilant. Yeah.
Those water droplets.
That may have been one of the shows that you weren't on. We were talking about it like 10 years ago. We would have never thought everybody would be socially acceptable.
1 year ago. 1 year ago.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Because this really didn't, like, I mean, it kind of started December. We didn't really hear much about it until January, February. Then March, it was boom, it exploded. So a year ago, we were all like, hey, let's go shopping for the holiday, you know.
I don't know about that, because I know friends that were sick in October and November, and they thought they had this.
They look back and they go, oh my God, I think I had COVID. I know 2 people who were like deathly ill, didn't go to the hospital, but they were respiratory problems, very, very ill for like a couple of weeks. And they were like, what the heck do we have? And it's like, then now they were like, I wonder if we had COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. You're right, Justine. It's like, oh shit.
On that note, something that makes sense.
Maybe we should be flipping to another direction, another topic set.
All right, here's the next topic. This Saturday, 25 years since Bruce Springsteen released the song Youngstown. How about that? Remember that song?
I do. And she makes me feel old.
Wasn't it like a bashing Youngstown type song?
I don't think so. He stopped in Youngstown.
He did. He stopped in Youngstown to promote the song because he had come to our previous
It
workplace.
does make me feel old too, because you know where I was working like 25 years ago? I was 18.
Does it to me every week.
We're hoping.
I'm sorry.
We're hoping that people don't know math,
you look
right?
Wonderful. When you told me,
you just kind of gave the math away. So
when she told me what her age she was.
Don't do it.
No, I won't say it. I won't. I promise. But I think you look amazing for like your age. I was like, oh, you are?
I've got my cane in the car.
I know. Listen, please don't think I'm throwing stones. I gotta put my glasses on.
Geriatric shoes.
Yeah. I have to put my glasses on when I drive, and
I do too. When I look at the computer.
I need glasses. I need them like a new pair because my arm fell off of my glasses, so I have the pair without the arm, and I hold them. Like, who does that? I don't know.
We do, because we're getting old and time is getting past us.
Yeah. So anyway,
we're not hip anymore.
We're not hip anymore.
You know what though? I had hips always, but I was never really that hip.
Yeah.
That's why I was on the radio. Had that face for radio. I always did. Always did.
Well, one thing's for sure. We've lived a life that we can tell people about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We've lived a great life.
Right.
Would I change anything in my life ever? Maybe a few.
I would.
So let's adjust that.
I would change many, many, many things.
If you were born 10 years later, would it be anywhere near the life that you've had?
No way.
In this day and age, with all the ways that things are different, with technology and less social interaction, like completely different.
We just talked about this last time in that sense. It was like, remember, you'd have a pager or whatever. But I'll tell you this.
The stuff we got away with.
Right. No one knew. And here's the other.
I mean, you even. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, when you. I hate to say kids now, but like I graduated high school, the internet, I graduated in 95. The internet was invented, but really not till 96, 97, whatever. So guess what? When I had to do a report for school, there's no Google. Like, I know I sound like I'm walking backwards in the snow 2 miles up a hill to go to school, but I'm saying I didn't have Google. And that's why to this day, I'm sure we all can count change to somebody back. Because we don't have our phone, you know what I mean? It does dumb people down a lot. I'm not saying people are dumb, but I'm saying people can't live without.
Oh no,
You know.
but even us now. I mean, we're
Yeah.
there's so many utilities in this thing that remember all the other things.
Remember MapQuest? Remember we used to have to print
Oh yeah,
directions out?
that was great. And you miss an exit, you're like,
Oh crap!
uh-oh.
Yeah, and they worried
No.
about texting and driving. MapQuest, you were like, wait, where am I going? Wait, I got to wait. Where am I? You know.
I mean, having the phone attached to a wall and having to be in an area like.
And it would ring busy if you were on it.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I thought
Well,
call waiting
when-
was like the greatest.
When internet first came out and you pick up the phone and go.
Oh yeah.
Like, ah.
Remember the little AOL guy running?
Yep.
And it would take forever.
I remember you got
Remember
mail.
when we IM each other?
Oh.
It was like texting.
AOL Instant Messenger.
Now,
That-
if
that's-
anyone young watches this at all, I mean, our demo can't be any because they're going to be
Nobody's
like, "What is that?"
understanding this.
No.
Nobody, because we're showing our age.
Right. Yeah. Well, AOL came in the mail.
Yes,
and
the disc.
You had enough discs to like build a mini birdcage. Like it was that many
Yes.
discs
Remember
every month.
Remember
30 minutes free.
Microsoft Word, you would open it up and a little paper clip would come out
Yep.
like on a little
Clippy.
sled, and he'd be like, "Do you need help?" And you'd be like, "Get the out of here! No, I don't need freaking help. Stupid paper clip."
There's actually a there's a very cool video. It was done by College Humor that involves Clippy in it, and it takes Neo from
See,
Matrix.
you know what?
Matrix.
It's your old age kicking in. You can't remember.
But
me
if
too.
you want to laugh your butt off, watch that
Oh, I
video.
will.
It has some IT humor, but it's still even from a person standing back, it's hysterical.
IT humor is the best though, and always be nice to your IT guy because they can royally f you. You've got to be good to the IT people.
Do you remember the I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit, Nick, the company
Yeah.
computer guy?
Yep.
Yes.
That was a great
But how
skit.
many of us know somebody like that is at the workplace
Well,
like that?
unfortunately, my name is Nick, and I'm an
Oh,
IT guy.
yeah, well, you're not like, you're somewhere near not like that.
No. But you know, I know. I remember. I won't name names, but this was probably 12, 15 years ago on a TV station. That someone was fired for stuff IT people discovered on the computer.
Yep.
A TV person, and had he been, from what I heard, more kind to people, they wouldn't have done that. But he was not very nice to the engineers or the IT people, and so when they found something, they, you know, now I'm just saying, you gotta watch those computer guys. Get on their good side. Get on the good side of the engineer. Get on the good side of the IT guy. They will always have you
Back.
make you or break you. Yep.
I approve this message.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So.
You know,
But yeah, I mean, it's not like years past. I mean, being 10 years older, and it's a completely different generation. I mean, you don't appreciate the technology that
No
exists.
way.
Like being able to jump in your car and having a printed, and that was advanced. That
Yes.
was having a printed out, knowing where you were going,
Yeah.
and now GPS comes along, and that's obsolete.
Yeah.
And before that,
Yeah.
you were like, you didn't know how to get somewhere?
Yeah.
No.
No.
You used maps, paper maps.
Or back in the 80s, when my mom would take us somewhere, she'd have a map and a triptych. To which this day, I have no idea how to read an actual map. I'm sorry. I just never really
especially if
learned,
it's upside down.
That's
Valid
fair.
point. That's a valid point. That's funny.
I've done that. And nothing looked remotely close to where I was going.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you don't figure it out until you're like, oh my God, did I miss an exit? I can't do this, people. I can't do this.
Do you remember though when you get worried because you were lost, and you'd be like,
Oh,
"God,
yeah.
am I getting home? I don't know where I am." Now it's like, type
Yeah.
in where you are, it'll find you.
Well, before you have to pull over to a gas station and ask the guy missing 2 front teeth
Yeah.
how to get home.
Who was
that's-
deaf and didn't speak English anyway, and you're like, "Never mind, I'll
Yeah.
figure it out."
You
They're like,
figure-
"Left here, go down the fire about 5 to yeah."
And
Remember
that's
that?
the other thing. Like you get instructions, and that's what it was. Like you would walk up to somebody like, go down here at the Taco Bell, turn right, go 3 blocks down, and you have to remember
Because-
all these steps.
Because women will stop and ask directions.
True,
Men
That's true.
don't.
but women
Men don't.
also
Well, now if men don't,
they don't
They
have
have
to.
to.
everything's GPS. Everything's
So I want to not to switch everything around, but I do want to switch this. There's a new job. This is so sick, and this goes with everyone's obsession with true crime. Are you obsessed with true crime? Are you? I am. I'm one of those. I watch nothing but the ID channel. Thank God for cheating men, or there'd be no Dateline. You know, I mean, I watch nothing but you know, I mean, there are some good shows like, you know, like Very Bad People is a good show. It's just, it focuses on one main like serial killer and, you know, whatever. I like that show. I like Forensic Files and stuff. But like Wives with Knives, I don't think that's a good show. Anyways, there's a show called Snapped. I'm not a fan. But I do.
Wait a second. Rewind here. So you are learning how to murder people in advance to be able to get away with it. Is that what these shows are about?
I'm just very much into true crime podcasts, true crime. I find it fascinating. I don't want to commit a crime. I can't even kill a spider. I have to throw it outside because I feel bad. I don't want to kill anything that doesn't deserve to die. But I'll be honest with you. I feel like I'm just like, I'm one of those people that I'm like, God, I wish I was a profiler, but I don't want to see like dead bodies all the time. Like, I'm not into the gore of it. I want to, you know what the heck happened and why did you do that? What the heck happened to you? So there's a new Netflix, or I'm sorry, it's on HBO, but it'll be on Netflix, I hope. And it's Are Serial Killers Born or Made? And this psychologist has come up with this whole new thing saying, oh, they are not born that way. I always thought they were born that way. Screws loose, chemicals, whatever. And they're saying, no, they're made. But you could grow up in the greatest home in the world and be a psycho, right? I mean, I'm not a psychologist.
Well, I mean, if you look at the whole Dexter movie,
right?
He wasn't psycho until his parent was murdered right in front of him.
Exactly.
Like, the same premise. Exactly. Probably follows those same lines where you see it and it becomes a normalcy and you don't really have that conscious in the back of your mind.
Don't follow any of this stuff.
No. Justine like, I'd rather watch, like, you don't know Dexter.
Oh, if you want a good...
Outlander.
Outlander's great.
Outlander's great. I'll give you that.
I will give you
but
that.
Dexter, if you've never seen Dexter, start it from go. You will be.
Dexter's wonderful.
It's a great.
He's a serial killer and he knows it, but he's like, okay, how can I do this without being a horrible person? So he kills bad people.
No, not your cup of tea.
No. What is your cup of tea? Like, what do you binge watch? What's Justine's binge watch?
Like right now?
Yeah.
I'm watching The Crown.
Okay, good bit. Okay. Absolutely. Did you watch Downton Abbey?
Parts of it. But then something else would come on Netflix and they'll tell you, bing,
I'm
something
like
and you're like, oh, I want to go watch that.
I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, squirrel, ooh, I know, yeah. I'm bad.
So it's like, I don't want to know who's killing who, and I don't want to because I have nightmares at night. I can't watch that stuff.
Yeah, no, I
won't.
I used to be able to watch stuff in high school, like the movie Seven with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. Okay, and Kevin Spacey. That was a great movie. Very, very dark and gory in a sense, but great movie.
Yeah,
I couldn't watch it now without being disturbed and bothered. But yet, when I was 17, I didn't give a shit. I'm like, Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I mean? But now I can't watch a horror movie. I'll never watch a Saw movie. I'll never watch Hostel. I don't even like Jason movies. I'm like, oh God, no. Oh no, it's awful.
I'm a Hallmark girl.
Oh,
Hallmark Channel, Christmas
Golden
movies.
Girls, the Hallmark Channel.
I don't know what to do with that because the Hallmark seems like
it's
just
exact sit there on the couch.
You can almost guess what is going to happen before the movie even gets started.
It's where like D-list actors go to die, like Candace Cameron Bure, but at the same time, it's like you are going to get the girl moves to a town from a city or some stupid crap. I don't know. Yeah. It's Christmas.
Moves from a local city, falls in love with the doctor that's in the city.
Christmas boyfriend.
That was on the other day. My mom was watching it, and I said, well, my mother was devastated when freaking stupid-ass Lori Loughlin went to jail for the college scam because she loved that When Calls the Heart crap. And I'm like, oh, my God, you got to get a life, lady. Like, who watches this shit?
How did she do all that?
Apparently a lot. Because there's a dedicated channel called Hallmark that plays non-stop Christmas movies that have
Christmas
the exact same plot.
And
it's almost like they took a deck of different scenarios and they came out with one, but then they like spread it out amongst 15 different movies for that season. They play them on repeat.
Because, there is so much darkness and crap in the world. Now, even granted, I can't watch Hallmark Channel movies. I'm like, this is so bad. But there's so much bad stuff in the world. Sometimes you just need fluff, right? Just turn on... I used to do that at night if I was like, oh, I heard a noise and, you live alone or whatever. I'd be like, okay, turn on some Golden Girls. Like, you need something happy.
Yeah, but that was still... Golden Girls was a good show.
God, it was so good.
It had the dynamic
God, Betty, don't go.
The extreme from both sides. And it just had a good... anybody...
Did you watch Golden Girls?
Not recent. When I was younger. But even then,
Did you?
it still had a good premise behind it where it had that... it wasn't completely like there are women shows and there are guy shows, and it didn't have that dynamic where men couldn't watch and still be entertained.
Right.
Where there's a lot of women shows.
Now you know what was
Yes.
good.
I call it crap TV because that's, in my opinion, that's a lot
There's
of what
no
it
good
is.
sitcoms anymore. I feel like, and I
No.
used to love the sitcom, and
When
there's
I was a little
nothing
girl.
that makes me laugh.
And on Saturday nights, we used to watch a Carol Burnett show.
Yes,
Loved Carol
Cover
Burnett.
your ear.
I don't think
And
I.
it's good,
Oh
clean
my
fun.
God.
You've
I'm
never
young.
seen Carol Burnett?
I know you're young.
Oh, I've seen Carol Burnett. Yeah.
Carol Burnett
Her
show was
shows?
so
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Listen,
Harvey Korman.
I was too young for
See,
it.
well, at my grandparents' house, we used to watch like the Gilligan's Island
Yep.
and all those daytime shows. So that I kind of knew. I don't think that was on during. Was it prime time?
No, yeah.
That's probably why I didn't see it because.
So let me ask you this: what's your guilty pleasure show that, like, it doesn't matter why you watch it or whatever, but people would look at you and go, "Are you such a loser? Why are you watching that?" But it's your guilty pleasure. You will watch it all the time, anytime if it's on.
An old show or a new show?
I would say old, like anything. What's your guilty pleasure show that people would be like, "You're a loser for watching that," but you don't care. You give 0 Fs and you're watching it.
I don't think I have one.
No? What about you?
No, because I'm so addicted to Netflix
Yes.
that it's like I'll just stream.
Well,
I
think
don't care to have cable and
I think
sports
that's part of it.
Mhm.
Is that there's so much content out there that we could just jump from one to the next to the next to the next. There's not really that watching reruns or rewatching the same movie because you can just jump to the next movie.
Mhm.
Like I think that's part of it. Why you really don't have that in this day and age is you have choices.
Do
You have
you
lots
have
of
like a
choices.
guilty pleasure show?
No, I can't really think of one.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine,
I mean, I may, but
mine is Little
nothing's
House on the Prairie. I will watch Little House on the Prairie any day, anytime, any place. Because I used to watch it with my grandma when I was like 4. And it makes me think of her, and I don't care. The show, number one, is so bad. It should be called Let's Watch Michael Landon Cry, because that's all he does is cry in it. He's a dirt poor farmer with a $300 Hollywood haircut, bless his heart. I mean, and the show is really just not that good, but I will watch
Glad
it.
she doesn't write reviews for shows.
Yeah, I know.
I am so glad she doesn't do
I
that.
think it would be entertaining to see her write reviews for
And
shows.
Dr. Quinn, I loved Dr. Quinn. That was on when I was in high school. Dr. Quinn was on this morning. I was riveted. I was like, oh, Dr. Quinn's on.
But remember when we used to like Friday nights was our big go-to, like the
Step by
TGIF.
Step.
They don't really do that anymore.
Family Matters.
Yeah.
That, like I said, I feel like there's no good sitcoms anymore.
What was the Michael J. Fox show?
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Oh,
Family Ties.
I mean, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince was the best.
There's just a lot of those shows that
Frasier was always
but there's
good.
no like
Now,
lead-up show
I
anymore.
do like All in the Family.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep.
I do. I will watch that because I'm a loser.
No, you're not.
Loser
If that's your
is a
guilty
show.
pleasure show, look, one of my other guilty pleasures, the only soap opera I could ever commit to, is The Bold and the Beautiful. I've always watched it. It's 30 minutes a day. Actually, it's 17 minutes with commercials. I'm good.
Oh my god.
I love me some Bold and the Beautiful. I mean, it's so stupid.
It's so tacky
And terrible. And well, Young
Even
and the
just
Restless
catching it,
too,
you're
because
like-
you know when you were like 3. Well, when I was like 3, my mom would watch Y&R, Catherine Chancellor, and all that. And so to this day, Victor's still on there. Victor Newman. I mean, you know, we all listen. Even boys like soap operas back in the day.
There are, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I never got into them, but there were many
you know-
kids in high school that were all about
You're watching
watching
the
those.
soap operas during the day, but then at night, these TV shows like Chicago Fire and all that stuff, those are soap operas.
Kind
They're
of,
just
you're
in
right.
a different way, and they're addicting to watch, and you can't wait. Or just
Yeah,
like
but they're
Grey's Anatomy.
not like so over dramatized that it's obvious that it's over dramatized.
Yeah.
That's the difference between your soap operas in the middle of it, like overdoing the drama.
I really am sad that there's hardly any soap operas on.
Yeah, I didn't even notice because
They're-
I
they're-
never
yeah, I
watched.
know.
it.
Like,
working.
My grandpa used to sit because my grandma would watch all of them, and she would watch, you know, whatever. It literally started with like Young and the Restless, then it would go to As the World Turns, then The Guiding Light, and it just went on and on, you know. And my grandfather used to make fun of my grandma for watching soap operas, and she'd say, "Yeah," and I look over and he's crying at one of them because it's sad, and I'm like, "See, my brother was addicted to Days of Our Lives, so please."
Well, that, and we only had the choice of 3 channels back then.
This is true.
That was the part. So 2.
This is true.
I don't know why I don't even know why I paid.
There was
cable.
4.
It's terrible.
You were lucky to get channel 45 if you were in the right spot.
Right.
But yeah, it's that's part of it. You watched what you had to watch, and because there was no option. Now kids can jump on Netflix. Kids can jump anywhere and get any content at any time. It just
Thank God for Netflix. Who would have thought it would blow up the way it did? Like, it was always around.
Well, it was really weird. It's really weird to tell somebody now about Netflix because everybody the DVDs in the mail, that was the big thing. That was so awesome.
Right. That's right. I completely forgot about that.
Yep.
That Netflix would send you a DVD.
And then they did that little transition where you still had the choice of DVDs or you could start watching a certain set that were streamed, and then it just grew from there. But these kids will never know about getting DVDs.
They won't even understand cassette players.
That's true.
No, you're
Nobody understands a cassette.
Nope.
Or a...
Remember the 8-track?
Don't laugh, because I started out in radio on an 8-track.
I did too, though. When I was there, we had 8-tracks. It's very strange.
But nobody will ever remember the cassette singles.
Singles, yes.
I think my first cassette single was Bryan Adams' Cuts Like a...
Yeah! Mine was Boys to Men. Or no,
it used to be
Shy.
It used to be great that you could take tapes and listen to the radio and record it. Problem is, if you missed it, the whole thing was shot.
People like us talking over.
Or you would talk. Yes.
You're like, shut up, DJ. I just want to take my song.
The DJ would go all the way up to the vocals, and you'd be like, shut up.
Because it's an art. To nail the post.
Yeah, it is.
We get
I never knew that.
so much time between a song to talk, and we can talk right up to the vocals.
It's called posting the song.
It's called posting the song, and it's an art. A lot of people don't have that.
What was the first?
Because now, in a voice track studio, let's just move our vocals under the music. Yeah.
What was your first? What was the first song you ever talked over on the radio? Do you remember?
Oh hell, I don't remember.
You don't? I remember mine.
I started an AM radio station in
I did
Cortland.
too. I started at an AM in Ashtabula before I went to Hot 101. But on Hot 101, that was my first like top 40 like actual radio gig. And I remember the first song I ever talked over was because I had like 13 seconds, and then I had an extra 4 seconds because they sang kind of for a second. It was Ace of Base, Don't Turn Around.
Oh jeez.
Because it would go dun, 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 and then she'd go oh wow wow.
Do you remember this music?
I remember it. I'm a big music guy. I mean, obviously I DJ to boot, but I like all music. That's part of what I enjoy. That's why I do the DJing side of it. So,
well, I think you have to have a love and a knack for why you get into the media or the entertainment industry, or it's something that drives you. And once you find that you're out of the media or the entertainment industry, you miss it. You're like, you complain when you're there, but then you complain when you're out, because it's like, I miss it. I miss the camaraderie of people. You miss having the family structure that was there. And we had that way back in the 90s. Even the
entertainment, being able to it essentially, and a lot of people won't know this because they've not really been in that arena, but the enjoyment of seeing people enjoy what you're doing is just, it's a whole another level. It's really an enjoyable thing.
People don't understand too that when you, and this is from a DJ point of view, that when you go out, we haven't done this for so long, but when you go out to a club or you go out to someplace, say it's a wedding or a prom or something, homecoming, and you pack that dance floor and they're screaming and they're yelling for more, and you're like, wow, we're doing a good thing here. And it's like, oh, what's the next one? You know what I mean? What's the next song we're going to throw in there? But you don't, and then it's funny too, because we miss this now, but you know, people would have their convertibles down or their windows down or their T-tops out. That those of you who still have T-tops, can't get rid of them.
Nothing wrong with
that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, you can get rid of them. It just.
But when you hear people playing the music that you were working at that station at that time, and you're like, yeah, oh, there's our commercial. Yeah, there's this.
Believe it or not, and this is just from I respect the fact that a lot of these schools are still bringing up some of these olders. Like I've done events where 80s music for some of these newer kids.
It's
And I could
too old. They don't
appreciate
know
and
it.
respect
Yeah.
the fact that they brought 80s into it. And
Yeah.
these kids are jamming to 80s. It's
Because
right, the 90s now.
80s music was something
It was the
different.
best.
It was the best stuff.
So goobery, like, but great.
But it was good. The 80s
Yes,
were good.
yes.
And some of the
Fun.
music is being sampled with some of the 80s stuff, and it's like, where'd you get that idea from?
Well,
you know what I mean?
And the cool part, and again, I like all genres of music, even the older stuff. Like, there's some songs you can't tell what genre, if you just listen to it, you can't tell what genre it's in.
Right.
That type of an advancement in something that was in the 50s or 60s, it sounds like it's in the 70s or 80s. You know, I even have a hard time. I'd have to research and find out when that song was played because sometimes you can't tell. Now you can tell. Now everything's like it's really not as much.
It's funny. We were at work today, and the girl had her phone playing, and she had a podcast, or not a podcast, but she had one of the radio stations on. And I'm listening, and she's listening to the music and, you know, humming in the background to it. And then it was Miley Cyrus. And I'm sitting there, and I hear the first Miley Cyrus song, and then I hear the second Miley Cyrus song. I go, what are you listening to? Is it Twin Spin Thursday? She's like, what? It's like 2 Miley Cyrus songs back to back. I said there was no sweeper in between. And I'm like, ooh, I caught myself because it's like nobody realizes, you know what I mean? Putting this together and dealing with what we used to do on a daily basis. And when you are out somewhere and you're thinking, your ears constantly. Like, do you ever notice that if you're in a restaurant, when we could go to restaurants and be out at night and do things, you could hear music, or you're tuned in to what's going on around you. People will talk to you and look at you, and you can still carry on a conversation, but you're still tuned in as to what's going on around you.
How long was it after you left radio that you could hear any song for like 10 years
who it is.
and know not only that, but know how long you could talk before you had to shut up? Like, you'd hear a song and you'd go, like, when I started at Hot 101, you know, we had 8 tracks, but we had the CDs. We didn't have touchscreens yet, you know, but we would put the CD in the machine, load it up, blah, 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 cue it up. But a 5-minute song was unheard of. Or if a song had like a 25-second intro, you were like, oh my God, I can do so much.
Unless
you know?
it's Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Well, yeah. No, but like Back to Good, Matchbox 20. That was like a 5.5-minute song, the shortened version. And it was really popular. But it was literally, like, that was the song I knew I could go out and smoke.
I would wait with bathroom break, but I guess that works too.
I could go out and have a cigarette. Like, that's what I mean, you know? But how long was it when you'd hear, I mean, I could still hear a song that we used to play, and I could still talk over it in my head because I remember how, like, many seconds of the intro it was. It's a very strange habit.
That is a very cool but very strange. And people
Mostly it's
no
90s
idea what we're
music
talking
or
about
Britney
right now,
Spears. Yeah.
Nobody would have any clue, especially the people that are watching, and you know, you see the list of people and they're thinking, what are they talking about? But to totally reinvent yourself from doing something like that is just the hardest thing in the world once you have done it for so long and you've been
It's
in
your
that
identity.
business. It's your identity. And to totally reinvent yourself, and that's why I think a lot of us can all understand what these people are going through that have lost their jobs, that have worked for computer companies, software companies, banks, you name it, people that have downsized due to the pandemic that's go. I totally get you. I totally sympathize.
Yeah.
So
you know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, DJs right now are one of the hardest, especially the full-time guys. I mean, that's got to be the hardest thing, you know, out there right now, because their whole income is dependent, and all these reschedules and having to reschedule upon reschedule upon reschedule is crazy.
What about some of the entertainment centers too, or that had concerts? What about some of these entertainers themselves that can't put concerts on? How many of them want to keep strumming in their garages, or you know what I mean? So it has taken a hit with each and every one of us. So
I love to do theater and perform and stuff. I feel for they shut Broadway down till 2021, and you think, oh, those poor actors. No. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have to build the sets and run the sound and design
all the stuff
and
that's behind the
sew,
scenes.
and they're all out of a job.
nobody gets that though. To put a production on, even in this area, when you have to have the lighting and the sound people, and there are so many people.
The actors
that
are nothing. It is all the people behind you. The actors are, I mean, the actors have a job to do too, but without all that, and it's cliche, but without every single person working their ass off to build your set, to sew your costume, to measure you, to make sure that you are ready to go, to make sure the sound is perfect and mic you up and all that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But you get the glory because you're out there
doing your thing.
Yeah.
But it's the people behind the stage.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And a lot of them.
But a lot of them don't. I don't think they do it for that. I think they do it because they enjoy
love their job.
The other part of it.
And they're good at what they do. Mm-hmm. How many people can shimmy up a drain pipe and put together lights on top of, you know what I mean? Or
not me.
Or sound systems or...
Well, the ones that impress me most are the ones that are the big shows where they're up in rafters 100 feet above. And it is absolutely crazy. It's just unbelievable how high you're up in the air to do that and to risk your life to be able to put on that show is crazy.
I know.
But then you sit back and you watch it and you're like, yeah, we did that. We put that show on, and then you...
Ryan's watching, so I told to give him the peace sign.
Oh, how cute. Tug your ear, Carol. There we go.
I'm so glad
some of the content doesn't seem like it's Ryan appropriate, but that's okay. Sunshine, lollipop, sand. So, being that you were both DJs, did you ever get into more than just the radio set, like the mixing, the other stuff that could be done? You did the mixing? Do you enjoy the mixing? And do people tend to like the original versus the mixed version?
I think a lot of people, especially if you don't mix it right, and there's a train crash on the floor, but they're dancing and you slide a song and they're like, ooh.
Yes.
We gotta go slow.
But what about what about the other side where it's a stop, start? Isn't that equally as train wrecked as?
Yes and no.
That's why you have a microphone, so you can just fill that time.
Yes, and that's when Scott Adams would send me out to go clean up the floor. You know what I mean? And then
were you the actual mixing DJ, or were you? He was the mixing DJ, and you were kind of in between.
Because if he was out doing something, or if he was out off somewhere, and I was back behind the controls, or vice versa. Or if we needed to get the party started, he would send me out, and I would pull people out of the chairs and start dancing with them because that's what we did. We just, and that's why it was easier. It's hard to do a wedding with one DJ.
It's so hard, and I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you do it.
It can be. You learn the tips and tricks that you really do.
I could never.
Let me press pause. Could you come out here, please?
Jim Lowboy and I did weddings together for years, and I mean, he would. He doesn't by himself. He still does. I don't know how you do it by yourself. I do not a chance.
An assistant is helpful, but it's not a requirement.
No freaking way.
The other very cool thing with all these controllers and applications, I actually have an app on my phone that I can start the song from out on the dance floor while talking.
Nowadays.
Yeah, now, but back when we did
I mean, how many of us had drunken bridal parties that you had to line them up when you went to announce them, and they're like, hey, we're supposed to be where? And you're like, just stand here.
Yes, or go get the bride.
That's why I tell my brides and grooms, I actually warn them because we've seen situations where they were falling out of the bus and they're like, all I say is, hey, just tell your bridal party, out of respect for me, tell them they can drink like a fish after introductions. Yeah. Know that? It's worked every time.
We've done that. And you get one hot summer day, and they're chugging beers, and they're chugging whatever, because it's hot. They're in a long dress or a long...
I remember we had one wedding, Lowboy and I had one wedding, and it was a billion years ago, but the bride, we were waiting for her, and we were waiting to start the reception, and you only have a very certain allotted amount of time to squeeze all the shit in, if they want to even have time to dance at the end, and it was like, okay, where is she? We just kept playing, and people were getting restless. They already ate dinner, and it turns out she was so drunk the night before she couldn't stop puking.
That's a good time.
And that's what I hope to be like at my wedding, should I ever get married.
Can you imagine?
COVID is not going to
Can you imagine? Oh, well, okay, so...
All right, well, I guess on that same track, and then we'll get away from DJing, because people are looking at us like, what are these guys talking about? Favorite song throughout your entire career of DJing?
Oh, that's hard.
That I can't even say, because I went from Christian contemporary that I started out on. Don't. Okay? Amy Grant, Mark Farner, don't. But yeah, no,
El Shaddai, I know.
Yeah. From that, I went to jazz to oldies to
Country.
No, I went from.
Didn't
Where
you
did
just
I
rock
go?
it?
I went from oldies 93 to Hot 101,
And then
I did
Froggy, right?
from Hot 101, and then I did classic rock.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
I did, and then I got around, and then I got I went. Oh God, where did I go next? Then I went to country, and then I came back to hot.
Yeah.
And then I went and did country again, and then podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So go
Okay.
figure that.
So no favorite song that sticks out for you?
No, because each and every
Genre has their own.
has its
But
own.
country has come along.
Oh,
Like,
God.
it's no longer country.
It's
It's pop
pop.
country.
There's too many crossovers.
Yeah.
There's too many crossovers.
Well, everything does that though. Everything. It
Yep.
went from a certain sound in the 50s, and then it started to turn into rock and roll. It was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Now rock and roll is, I mean, come on, right? The Beatles changed everything, with the Brit rock and all that. But if I had to pick a song before we wrap up,
98 degrees.
no, shut up. It's
Do
the
people even know
hardest
98
thing I
Degrees?
ever had
Because
to
I
do.
think Backstreet Boys and NSYNC
Yeah.
kind of overrode.
Okay, so I was going to
90s.
say there are two songs that my two favorite are, of course, Bye 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 was the greatest when it came out. And DMX Party Up. I love Party Up. I love that song. It's so awful. And he's so awful. I have always loved DMX Party Up.
All right.
Terrible. Terrible stuff.
All right. What is the most classic song that still works today?
On a dance floor? Or just one that you go crazy to if you hear it?
Both. We'll
Okay.
combine the two.
God.
I think it's rock and roll. I think anything by Bruce Springsteen.
Or like AC/DC All Night Long
Okay.
is one of those.
Yep.
Yeah, you throw
John
that on.
Cougar.
Yeah, you throw that shit on, you're probably good. Summer
Good to go.
'69 was good.
Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything poppy at Bryan Adams, or all like lovey-dovey songs from what I remember?
No, he
For the
was
most
that
part.
adult contemporary
Summer of
artist.
'69's Lovey Dovey.
I think
Yeah.
it was a little bit. It
Well,
has,
no,
like,
it's
lovey-
it's like a summer anthem
Yeah.
song, but it is he was all.
But it's not a
lovey-dovey.
high energy
Yeah.
song, I guess is my statement. I wouldn't really factor that as being high energy.
I don't know. I don't know what the best song is. Like, if people hear it, they go screaming and running to the floor. I know if you play I Will Survive, every freaking girl in the world goes running out to
I
the
haven't
dance
really
floor.
played that in a
Thank
long
God.
time.
I don't know. What do you think? I haven't done it in a long time. I haven't DJ'd in a long time. The slide was what you always used to get people
yeah,
up.
but you can't really.
December 1963.
Yeah.
That
Oh, what
doesn't
an
work
old-
anymore. I've
No.
played that. It does not work.
No, and
Because people don't recognize it
no,
anymore.
yeah, and
It's burnt.
that's
It's
a
had
shame.
its day.
When I had on a classic rock station the other day, and they were playing something from like the '90s that was like it was either Matchbox 20, maybe it was Toad the Wet Spot, and I was like, oh,
See,
is
I
this
liked 90s
classic?
rock, though.
I
But
loved it, but I'm
if it-
saying
if
it was
it's-
on a classic rock station with Leonard Skinner now. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah, we get old.
that hurts my heart. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I hope you enjoyed this podcast of all this talk about how old we are and how
Hopefully, it was entertaining enough. We'll
I
find out on the
know.
other side. But
was.
yeah, I mean, it's. I think it was good. I think we covered
I
a lot
think
of topics.
so too. I mean, we gotta
a
have
little
some
controversial.
I
nostalgia.
think we went on a whole bunch of stuff, so
we
enjoy it.
never really have any actual, but it's good. It works. You're
It's
the
flowing.
one. You're very
You
good
bring
at,
stuff that we don't normally think about
Yes.
because we're girls.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how to take that.
It's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It's-
Okay.
We need the what's it called?
the balance.
The balance. Thank you. The other
Okay.
point of view, because two chicks, I mean, are fabulous.
Two chicks
Yeah, but
don't like us.
I don't balance my wife out, so I don't know how this.
It's okay.
the
Yeah, but you don't have to live
dynamic
with
works.
us, so you can balance this out.
Yeah,
you don't have to
worry about.
We're never gonna
We're not going to make you sleep on the couch.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that is would be a factor
Wow,
for
is
sure.
his face red? Has she done that to you?
Aw.
I've done the couch on my own.
I was gonna say, have you done it by yourself?
Well, no, that when we first had children, I opted to sleep on the couch with the child so that somebody could actually get rest. So that's
Yeah.
kind
How
Yeah,
nice are
drop
you?
I've done
We
that
had a
though,
theory.
where I've gone to another bedroom.
yeah. I mean,
I'm not sleeping with you.
why
Get out.
why would both want to
Why-
be miserable and
Right.
up where one can
Right.
at least get a couple hours of sleep and then
Right.
switch?
No, I mean I've done that where I've gone to another bedroom because I've been pissed off.
Oh, well,
Don't follow me.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done that. Not a lot, but I mean, who hasn't? Haven't you ever been like, I am not sitting here with you, and forget it. You stay. I'll go. I'll go to another bedroom.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm not going to the couch. That's for damn sure.
oh, my couch is comfy because it's got the legs that flip up. And it's almost like a.
Oh,
It's great.
well, that does change things.
Yeah. It's not like you have to like find a table, slide it across the floor, and put your feet on.
See, I'm the tall girl. I've always been the tall girl. I'm 5'10", so no couch is long enough for me ever. My feet are always hanging off, if you're laying down. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for that one.
Yeah, but you're like the perfect height, the perfect you're total you're not too short, you're not too tall. You're like that perfect female height.
No, I'm short.
But I mean,
I'm
I'm very
short.
tall. For a girl, you're like right there. You're that perfect height, the perfect. You're the normal. You can wear heels and people aren't going to think you're an Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
I wear heels. People are like,
They
"Holy
do.
crap, how tall are you?"
They do. Yeah.
You can still look cute in heels and not look like Xena.
All right. Well, this is zigzagged all over the place, but that's
It's
okay.
time to go.
But yeah, I think it is time to wrap up. So we'll let you guys do your glass clink, and you got a little bit more wine to drink. What you've been missing
I
out
know,
today.
right?
Drink
I'm
it
just
up. Well,
just
we'll
a
put this in the
dactyl
fridge
today.
because I'm just
All right.
done,
well,
unless you're
let it
drinking it.
Get us out of here.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next Tuesday. For Pass the Glass. God only knows what we will be talking about, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining for some.
Yeah, what do you want us to talk about? Let
Don't
us know.
Yeah. Actually, yes.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. That's right. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Be safe and enjoy that curfew.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about us. Thank you.